gentlemen, from Bozeman, Montana, our governor, Greg Gianforte.
Hello, folks. Hello, Yellowstone County. How about Matt? Isn't he doing a good job? I am so thankful we have him representing us back in Washington. And he's right. The budget doesn't start in the Senate. It doesn't start with the administration. It starts in the House of Representatives.
Yes.
And when we get control of the House, the first thing I know Matt's going to delete are those 87,000 IRS agents. Let me start by saying, being your governor is the greatest honor of my life. I love it. I come to work every day. I just finished my 56 county tour all over the state. I get out to every county every year. Of course, I get to Billings almost every month. Just because I've learned the truth doesn't live in Helena, Montana. It lives out here. And it's the only way I know how to do it. And we're working hard to make Montana a sanctuary for freedom and the free market. And I want to give you I want to thank you all for being here. You're here because you care about our state and our country. And a remarkable thing happened in 2020. Because of your effort and the work that went into getting people out to vote, Republicans won every single statewide elected office that was up in 2020. That was huge. And you contrast that with just 10 years ago, 2012. In 2012, only one of our 8 statewide elected offices was held by a Republican. Now, 7 out of 8 are held by Republicans, and you made that happen. And that's why being here tonight is so important. There's a lot of campaign signs in the back. They're not worth a whole lot in December. So please help these candidates out by taking signs with you and putting them in prominent locations. You can make a difference. You can make a difference by making sure people vote for Matt Rosendale and our other Republican candidates. You can help by getting your friends and families to the poll who are like-minded and fill out the ballots properly, because it's so important. So I came into office after 16 years of the other party being in charge. And we had a very simple mandate. It's like, bring freedom back. Bring pro-business policies back. And I want to give you a quick update. Working with the legislature, and I see a number of our legislators here who did a terrific job. If you served in the 2021 legislature, could you just raise your hand so we can recognize you here? We have a bunch of you. We had a little backlog after 16 years. I ended up signing 550 bills in 90 days that peeled regulations back, that gave us the biggest tax cut we've seen in the history of the state. We also recognize that government's job is to educate and communicate, not to mandate.
Thank you.
So we ended the economic pandemic that the prior administration had created here in the state. We replaced the leadership in every state agency, as I promised you I would do. And now we're starting to introduce a new concept to state government. It hasn't been tried before. It's called customer service. And it's working. We're starting to see the results. We had record low unemployment, lowest ever recorded in the state of Montana earlier this year. We got our economy opened back up. We have more people working today in Montana than ever in the state's history. We just got recognized with 6.7% GDP GDP, which makes us the 7th fastest growing economy in the country. And what I'm most proud of, we also got designated the best state to start a new business. Because although I ran on a platform of better jobs so our kids don't have to leave, I'll be the first one to say is government doesn't create jobs. They're created by Main Street businesses, farmers, and ranchers. That's where it's created. Government's job is get out of the way. So we've been working on that. And what a contrast that is to what's going on in Washington, D.C. We've seen open borders. We've talked about the fentanyl we have coming in. We've confiscated more fentanyl in the first 6 months of this year in Montana than the prior 3 years combined.
Oh, no.
This is how bad it's ripping families apart. It's destroying our communities. Law enforcement tells us that the vast majority, 80 or 90% of the violent crime and property crimes are drug related in Montana. We need to secure the southern border. We need to get back to energy independence by producing our own energy here. And we've seen runaway spending produce inflation that makes it harder for working Montana families. That's why we need Matt Rosendale back in Congress. Because these conservative principles that we espouse and now we are implementing in Montana are working. We have the results. The evidence is in. This is not a theory, it's reality. We also, as mentioned, the Supreme Court race is critically important. And these are races, historically, we haven't paid a lot of attention to it because they're pretty far down on the ballot. I've been very clear, Susan and I we've endorsed Jim Brown for Supreme Court. There's another race, another Supreme Court race. Jim Rice is running for re-election. So when I tell folks to remember the candidates, because these names aren't every day, is just remember, brown rice is good for you. So you're here because you're engaged. People look up to you as knowledgeable folks in the community. You're going to get texts. You're going to get phone calls. We need to send Matt Rosendale back to Congress. We need to send Jim Brown to the Supreme Court. We need to send Jim Rice back there. And we need to vote Republican down the ticket because we are painting this state red. And the result is going to be protecting our way of life and helping Montanans prosper so that we can have our kids around the table on Sunday afternoon. And we don't have to keep exporting our kids along with the beef and the grain. So thank you for being here. Thanks for all your hard work. Please deliver us a huge victory in November by getting your friends and family out. And please don't make the candidates take the signs home. Thank you so much.